Welcome back, fellow trafficketeers. Um, so the other day I played a game on Los Angeles. I had a previous score of about 1,400 points, and as I was getting up to about 1,200 points, I realized that I was about to lose this game. And then I was thinking, is there a way to improve my use of motorways and roundabouts? I see lots of people on YouTube trying to link motorways and roundabouts together, but it will not let you connect them both up. I did use a little strategy, which I'm going to try and use today on Los Angeles again, where I combined both of them together, and then this took me over my previous best score of 1,400 points. And this was a bit of an epic moment for me because it took me about 3 attempts to get past that 1,400. I got to something like 86 days of the map. So that was a real big achievement for me. But my main aim, my true aim, is to get to 2,000 points. Now, if we look at the leaderboard, 2,000 points doesn't really seem that epic when you're thinking that people are getting around about 60,000 to 120,000 points. I mean, the top guy, Brock back in 97, is at 250,000 points. So he's doing really well. I'm nowhere in that league. There is no point setting that target for myself. But when you consider that just 150 more points, and I went from 63,000 position to now 58,000. 722nd place on the leaderboard. So I believe if I get to 2,000 points on this level, it will definitely get me into that 40,000 range, because 1,500 seems to be the average score for this game. I can't really scroll down any further, unfortunately, to see what other points we have on this map. But I am very intrigued to see if the strategy that I implemented yesterday, which helped me get over that barrier of 1,400 points, gets me to that 2,000 points if I adopt it earlier on in the game. Let's click play. Let's get on with it. Let's see if I can get to 2,000 points applying this strategy. Now, the number one rule is take it nice and steady. Obviously, early game, it does go really quite slowly, so I'm not too worried about increasing the speed, getting things moving a little bit more rapidly. But as we get to, I reckon about 8 houses, I'm going to start slowing it down, really thinking about every single move that I'm making and trying to see where I can apply this strategy, which I'm going to explain to you in a little bit more detail as this video goes on, to see if I can use it to impact my final score. So there are two powers that I'm going to be focusing on throughout this game, and that are roundabouts and bridges, specifically for Los Angeles. I feel like motorways very powerful. They are really useful. However, I do feel that roundabouts and bridges for this one particular map are the detriment to success. Now, what I'm doing here, you might be thinking, why did I attach it here and not go all the way around? I am deliberately creating roundabouts as early on as possible. And the reason why I want roundabouts is because I believe that these are crucial to success. Now, what I am thinking though is that I've got two colours here quite close together. If another business of a different colour or of the same colour opens up in this same area, I'm going to connect this yellow with these reds, and you'll see why as the video goes on. Yeah, so these three are really quite close together. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to attach this one straight down. And then as it gets a little bit busier, you know what? Actually, no, I'm not going to wait until it gets busier. I'm going to do it now. I'm going to attach the yellow to that space there. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to create a extra leg. I'm just going to reserve this position because I've got 3 businesses here, and this is me forward planning. And now the idea is that this leg here is going to be my motorway leg, because these 3 are really close together. And actually, another thing that I'm thinking is I might actually connect this yellow here, so all the cars are really going in the same area. And then for the bridge, yeah, so this is a bit, so straight away this is a bit tricky because I'm going to dedicate a lot of bridges to this one river here, and I'm worried that this bridge being so low, if I connect it down here, let's say, I'm going to prevent other bridges from connecting along this route here. This will stop it. It'll become too crowded on one road. And what I am thinking is to create a little bit more space to have that mindset, so I can have other bridges coming along, have a little bit of space in here so that potentially we could have a roundabout here. I'm not too worried about vehicles travelling a little bit of extra distance with a bit more space to create a bit better traffic flow. Roundabouts are the key to that, and bridges to connect the 2 sides of the river, as many connections as possible. Alright, so that red there isn't too bad. So lots of these 3 reds here can travel across here. I might end up placing a roundabout in this area here, since we've got a few residential areas building up already, just to create a better flow for these reds and yellows to get onto this side as well. I'm going to guess that a yellow business is going to open up here, or a third colour will open up here eventually. So I might get a roundabout straight away. So the key to this is to place your roundabouts as soon as possible, and I believe that that is a key because they take up quite a lot of space. So the earlier you do it, the better chance of success you have. Now these 2, I'm going to place probably like that, so that you've got a nice runoff to this roundabout here. They can go to this section and they can go across the river, and this should hopefully keep the traffic flowing nice and steadily. Okay, this blue here is a bit of an annoying one actually. So I could bring him down here to connect to here, just so we keep this branch. You see, it's tempting straight away to connect here, but what I'm really worried is that as the game goes on, the blues and the reds, they create too much traffic here, and that creates a jam. If I create it here, we have a little bit more space where the traffic can spread out. It does require more tiles though, and doing this actually would block quite a lot of residential areas from populating this space here. So maybe that is a better bet actually. Let's do that. This blue, I could connect to here to keep the traffic flowing. I'm going to connect it here for now, just because he has to go here. Now, what we've done here as well is you can see that there's, let's say this is the main road, we've got a turn off here and we've got a junction here. Now, another thing that I want to do is keep that to the minimum as possible. So we've changed 2 junctions into just 1 junction here. And maybe I can make that even better actually if I do it like that. So that's a little bit smoother, and we've turned it into a T-junction rather than we having a junction here and a junction here. Always thinking about that maximum flow of traffic. Now I could connect that yellow and that red together there. That's a little bit better flowing. Alright, so now we've got a light blue, so I don't have a bridge, otherwise I would definitely make another connection going along here. So I'm going to connect it straight here, and do I want that bend? That seems quite a sharp bend. Let's do it like that. This red I'm not going to connect straight away, and I'm not going to connect this light blue, ooh, although we do have 6 points. Now I am going to connect a bridge up, because I do want to create more connections going along the river. Already this seems like a natural connection going across here, so we've got the yellows that can come straight down and feed into this area here. We have this red that could feed going the opposite way and then feeding this red business here. So I might do that now. I'm not too keen on these two connecting like that though. I might change it to like this kind of system. I'm also not too fond of this yellow creating a junction right after the bridge. So I'm going to change it to this and might change that yellow to here. So we've only got one junction now. So the idea is to keep your junctions onto the main routes to the minimum as possible. That looks okay. Now these blues do need to feed up to this blue business up here. So I might just create a straight run going along. It's not ideal. Already you can see that there's a bit of a blockage here, so if I get another roundabout, which I hope I do, I'll probably put another roundabout here to create a nice flow for the bridge route here. This seems to be where most of the residential is right now, although I do feel like more is going to spawn in this area and potentially more up in this quadrant here as well. But so far, sitting back and having a look, everything's flowing really smoothly right now. Alright, so we do have this light blue here as well. Now it is tempting to connect it here to reduce the number of roads that I use. I do feel that's not a very wise choice though, because you've got two houses here, and that would just create unnecessary traffic. I might create a deliberate T-junction here to place a roundabout in, but the roundabout wouldn't sit very well though. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reserve space for my roundabout already. So I'm already thinking, yes, I'm going to place a roundabout in here, but I am going to need to reserve some space for him and to be placed. So eventually the roundabout will go in here and it will go nicely. Now this is feeding two businesses at the moment, so it's feeding the dark blue and the light blue. So if a roundabout goes in here, it's feeding two businesses. This one's still feeding three, which is really good. And I'm going to guess another business eventually will come up in this area. So it could essentially feed three businesses. Okay, we've got another yellow business over here. And we do have a yellow business, a yellow house here and a yellow house here. I've missed this one. I could place it there. At the moment, I don't think it's going to cause too much problems. Okay, so I am going to take this roundabout. And I'm thinking, do I place a roundabout here or do I replace a roundabout here? Decisions. This is reserved. Eventually this will be a roundabout. Did I want a roundabout here? Because we've got reds. We've got three red houses that can come across here. The yellows are having to use both of these junctions to get across. These blues are having to use this one specific. So this one, these two eventually are going to get really, really busy. But because I got my reds down here, and they have to come across the river to go up, to feed this red business. I think I'm going to place my roundabout there. Yeah, I'm going to place my roundabout here, just so getting across the river is as smooth as possible. Now, these yellow residential areas as well, I do want to bring them into the game. Because I've got 2 yellow businesses here. I'm probably going to have another yellow business generate somewhere on the map eventually. But I do want to spread the yellows out, so I'm thinking these yellows could probably use this section here. These yellows, because this is being built up for high density traffic, I'm probably going to bring the yellows round to this area down here. So if I do something like that, I've got 36 roads. I don't want to use all of them right now. I think I'm going to change the blues. Maybe come straight down. Really don't like that. And then connect them up like that. So these yellows have a straight shot to a high traffic system where they could distribute and hopefully go north as quick as possible. I think that's better than bringing them here and just getting congestion, creating too much congestion on this junction right here. So I do have 1,576 points to beat. I've got right now 187 points, so I've still got a long way to go. Okay, so these greens are going to struggle to connect to this green over here. The end of the week is coming quite quickly. Now, hypothetically, let's hope that they provide me with a motorway. These can connect straight up to this green straight away. Let's hope I get a motorway. Let's connect these a little bit better. This red has just spawned, and I've got the red business, the red residential here. I've got so the reds are not in the best positions. They're spread out quite a lot on the map, so I'm going to have to make sure that the reds can get to this, to every area of the map quite easily. Now it is tempting just to connect it there, but that's ridiculous because you've got a bridge. I'm probably going to connect it there, just so they distribute a little bit more evenly. Now I'm going to anticipate I'm going to need a roundabout here as well. So a roundabout would fit nicely in there. So if I create more space, a roundabout should hopefully fit in there. Reasonably okay. And then I can change this once I put it in. These greens don't really have a chance to get over. I mean, right now I could just... until... I can't get across. I can't... That's really frustrating. So let's... fingers crossed I get a motorway at the end of this week. I could definitely do with one right now. Which I have one. Alright, so the motorway, just for now, is going to go from here to here. And because I am getting quite close to a timer, I am going to connect this one up as well. I'm looking at this red house as well, and I'm not a huge fan of its positioning. I've got too many junctions really, really close together. So what I'm thinking about doing is just creating a separate junction there. And it's turning right, so it's not necessarily impacting the flow of the blues getting to the business. I'm quite happy with that. This is disgusting. Yes, I know, I don't like it. I am anticipating that I will have to change that soon. Okay, now this red, I'm going to connect straight to there. Oh, so that's interesting. So I could make that smooth. And that could come up smooth and connect to there. So that's my roundabout here. When I do eventually get it. And then this yellow just connects straight there. So we can see a pattern of reds forming here. I do need more roundabouts in this northern part of the map. I am feeling. Definitely a roundabout here and definitely a roundabout there. I'm going to leave this red one for now. I don't have any more roundabouts. I do have a traffic light or another motorway. I don't really need a motorway right now. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to get one just for now. And what I am seeing is I've got my reds and my yellows here, and I've got a nice congregation of reds and yellows here. So what I'm thinking of doing is disconnecting these for now, but creating like a individual motorway hub. 1 second, let me just add an extra one here. So what I'm actually doing here, let's just think about this. So it's right-hand driving, so they could go right, and they can go right. Yeah, so I'm going to do this and connect these two communities of houses over to this roundabout over here. Now, the intention of doing this is that these, how many is that? 7 houses? These 7 houses go into a roundabout, and they use this roundabout to do 2 things. Number 1, keep congestion down, so that it can get into that area quite quickly. They can go to that roundabout, and then they can distribute to their businesses as quickly as possible. Now, because I've done a direct route to this red one, essentially this red one here, I want to keep an eye on this red business and this red business here, just to make sure that these red houses are still feeding into these 2 in the center of the map. Because I do feel like these 4 yellow are required over here. I could do this just for the yellow houses, but I want to get the reds involved as well, just to see how it impacts going around. I do feel like I need to connect them up, but I'll come back to that in a minute. Let's just see how they go. Alright, so let's just follow this yellow car here. So linking it on its own leg or branch or onto a motorway here, it turns right, it goes right over all the map, and it goes onto this roundabout, and then it can quickly go to this business, collect the pin, travel back, going around a roundabout, all the way back over the motorway onto this. Now this, at the moment, isn't very heavy traffic. Potentially will need a roundabout eventually if more residential houses kind of crop up. But at the moment, it's doing all right. So it goes over quickly onto the roundabout, up to the business, picks up a pin, circles back around, onto the motorway, and shoots off again. As quickly as that. During that time talking, I've actually missed this blue opening up. And I do want this blue here connecting up. Annoyingly, I don't really want to lose that tree, so I'm going to make a connection this way, just so I'm not creating too many unnecessary junctions. This red is just going to have to stay there for now. Now, what I've noticed is when you get a lot of houses connecting together, it's better to get them to go around the outside rather than clustering them all up in the middle, which I was just starting to do there. it works better if you get them to go around the outside. It just keeps that flow of traffic a little bit better. I'm hoping at the end of the week I get another roundabout. A desperate need of a roundabout here. This should be fed nicely. Yeah, that's not an issue. And this green just popped up. Now I'm probably going to link this green and this green together. However, this is a direct route to this community of greenhouses over here. So I will have to keep in mind that if another colour, or when another colour grows here, I'm going to have to connect it a different route. But I am seeing a route available here and a route available there. So just for now, I'm just going to move the motorway to this section here. I'm going to create a connecting road to this section, and then I'm going to place the road back. And that's how you do that. So I've got 14 roads left. I'm just keeping an eye on these yellows here. It's going all right for now. So, still no more roundabouts, but I do have an extra bridge. So let's see if I can connect something up using a bridge. Now, I'm tempted to put a connection here. So you could do another bridge connection here. So we've got one in the north, one in the south, and we have one in the center of the map. And then we could do a direct route going back and forward here. I am tempted to do a connection here to bring these red houses over to this area here, and I could do a bridge here, and then the reds could link up here and then feed in using the motorway, so they're not having to travel all this way. That's one possibility. Now these blue houses as well, I'm going to reshuffle this road structure here. I'm going to make it a little bit more like this. And these greens, I'm anticipating I might have to change them as well. Just because, well, maybe the flow is going to be okay. It just depends what else kind of develops on this side. I am tempted to do that though. I'm probably going to make that one straight. I don't like this cluster of houses very much here. So I might make it like that. No, I really don't like that. So I could make it like that. The idea is just to keep as fewer junctions as possible. So that's not too bad. So it's nice and smooth coming out. Although I could probably move the motorway entirely to that section there. It's a little bit smoother for the greenhouses. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. This green's connected up. That should be okay. Now back to this bridge. I'm probably going to build a bridge connection. Where do I build it? Now if I build it here, I am going to create a T-junction. However, I could just change the shape of that. I'm aiming for that square there. Well, okay. So how long is a bridge? So every bridge tile uses one tile. So you could essentially make it all the way around the coast, but I'm not going to do that obviously. But it is helpful to know that it doesn't have to just be straight across. You could actually drag it down the river. But it gives me a few more options. I'm going to make that straight, bring this off, do that across to there. And then I'm going to make these red straight, going straight up to there. I'm not going to connect the green. I don't want them going this way. It's just going to create too much congestion. in this section here. I desperately need a roundabout here before it gets even worse. This red is just managing okay at the moment. I've got another green. I'm going to connect that there. And another green there. Connect it here. That red's fine there. This green. I'm probably going to connect it this way. Then it can turn right. Oh wait, it wouldn't turn right, would it? Yeah, it would turn... so this green would turn right, get stuck here. So this green would have to come all the way to this roundabout and wouldn't actually be able to get to the green section. So this green, at the moment, I'm not going to connect. I mean, I could run it straight across the top, but I just feel like that's a little bit overkill for 2 houses now, and I've only got 5 road tiles left anyway. Alright, so these blue houses, I was talking about redesigning, wasn't I? Yeah. So what I'm going to do with these... So I'm going to have these blues connect like this. You're going to have this road come straight in, and then it's going to connect going around. Now, it's nearly the end of the week. I'm going to get some more road tiles back in a second, hopefully a roundabout as well. I need a roundabout in this part here. I'm not going to worry about that. I'm not going to worry about that yellow just yet. It's really frustrating. Do I need a motorway? I don't think so. I'm going to take the extra tiles of a bridge though. Okay, let's just finish off connecting these blues. Okay, so that's just a little bit tidier for the blues. It's going to be a little bit mindful about this junction, but I don't think it's going to be too bad. Now I do have an extra tunnel, an extra bridge. Now those greens are okay going over here. I might make what I was talking about earlier, an extra tunnel system, an extra bridge, no, an extra, is it a bridge or a tunnel? An extra bridge tunnel, an extra bridge going across the middle, just so we've got an extra option for everyone to get across. Let's have a look. Is it able to fit in there? So it can fit in. It's just an extra option. It's getting a bit more congested. The greens are still doing a great job coming over here. Now, I do feel like I need to get these houses connected up. Now, for these greens here, I'm probably going to connect it here and just make another connection across there. Now, the reds doing great. None of them have got any signals going out. The yellows, they are building up a little bit. Let's just move this too. The yellows are building up a little bit. Hopefully now these yellows can come straight down here. It'll be a little bit faster than going all the way around the map. The greens, there's not really much I can do about the greens. They are going as fast as they possibly can. And they are all travelling. It's just a matter of time for them. And we've got some more greens here. I'm probably going to keep them separate for now from this section here. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. This dark blue needs to get over to this section over here. So I was thinking about connecting that up like so. How many? I've only got 3 road tiles left. Okay, so I'm going to keep that mindful. I'm probably going to get that dark blue connected over here. So the yellow going there is actually pretty good, just because I've got this yellow section here and I've got all these greens here. Now, I'm probably going to move the motorway to a more neutral position for both the yellows and the greens. And I'm thinking an arm coming off here. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . isn't too bad. It's a little bit more neutral for both of them. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so I'm getting a lot of yellows congregating in this section here. Probably not going to be able to join them up just yet. I have to wait for the end of the week and get some more road tiles. Now, it's going okay. There's a bit of congestion here. That was kind of inevitable, though. This green section just needs more. Okay, let's just think about this, because I do have another motorway here that's feeding the yellows and the reds. I have this motorway feeding the yellows and the greens. And at the moment, they're all coming down into the same area for the two roundabouts. For the two motorways. Now, I do really want a roundabout in there. I've wanted it for a long time. So now I've got these dark blue. And they have to come over here. Now the best route for them, I still feel, is to come straight down here. And they come down here, go straight across, round the roundabout, into the business, and then go back. It's not too much of a bad route. Now you know what? I'm still tempted to keep these two motorways here. Most of the residential's on this side. Most of the businesses on this side. But they are coming down into the same area, and they were both on the same side of the road. So I'm gonna have a think about that for a second, but I'm gonna see how it operates for now. So I'm at 700, nearly 800 journeys completed. The yellows are going a little bit crazy. Yeah, so it's getting reasonably busy here. And the yellows scurrying across. I've got 12 road tiles. I could make, if I rejig these, let me have a think. So maybe position this over here. I've got 6. It's not enough tiles. But you get the idea. So what I'm going to do is probably connect this up to this area here. Then the yellows have 3 options to get across the map. I'm really hoping that they hurry up. What went wrong? What did I do wrong? So the yellows just couldn't quite. So this isn't congested. So the flow's nice here. They have a motorway going straight over to this area. So why couldn't they get over here? I changed that immediately. Why did that run out? I mean, these ones have the option to go across here quite far. I really wanted that to connect up, but they do have an option to go this way. I mean, that... Yes, okay, I changed it, but most of the cars are outside of the houses anyway. Maybe I could have put that connection back. Now I could have moved the motorway more central, just to make the journey to these two sections more even. Could have done that. The greens was becoming an issue, so there's no congestion here. I mean, there was for a little bit, but it must just have been that little congestion stopping the yellows from making their way across. Really frustrating. So what was that? 818 points. So that's proof though, isn't it? So if there was a roundabout there, the cars here and the cars there would have been able to get on there seamlessly, because there has been absolutely like zero problems here, here, and here. That was a good placement. Potentially I could have moved this roundabout. So for the next attempt, I have to think about changing locations of roundabouts. So this wasn't too busy. Could have deleted this, make this a T-junction, move this roundabout over to here. Maybe I could have connected both of these up to the same roundabout, and that could have been nice and fast for that area. That could have been a possibility. Okay, so top tip for next time. Connect. Don't be afraid to move roundabouts and, well, don't be afraid to move roundabouts around. This one was essential. This one was essential. This one was relatively quite quiet, so I could have deleted this and moved it elsewhere. This one wasn't too bad. Could have made that a T-junction because it's just really the blues, and move this maybe over to this area over here. So a roundabout here and a roundabout there probably would have been a bit more successful. All right, so even though that was a failed attempt, I do feel like I've learned quite a bit from that one episode. Having a methodical approach is really important, but having a flexible approach is equally as important. So join me in the next video to see if I can kind of mingle these strategies together to create a more successful flow of traffic. See you next time.